Hey gang, Mocha Boy here. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning back in. So we're just going to do a quick follow-up to the video, to the Earthquake video that I posted from yesterday. We actually did do a third attack in the last war, using the exact same tactic and a similar troop composition. And this was by one of our other Town Hall 10s who had never tried this before, but saw the first two attempts and figured we'd give it a shot for this base. So this was the base that we attacked. This was the first attack on this base. So you know, we were still working out things like trap placement and everything else, but he was able to get in there and two-star this base on the first pass. He is still developing Town Hall 10. He's got pretty beefy heroes, and they're on their way to 40, but we're still not quite at the point where we're ready to start trying our TH10 3-star attempts. So for this was fine. All we needed was 2 stars, and we had a comfortable lead going into the end of this war. Anyway, so for for this attack, the plan for this attack was simply this. We were going to drop 1 earthquake right here, and or rather 4 earthquakes right there, and that would bridge this component, this compartment, this compartment, this compartment. All he would have to do is open that hole, and then everything would just march into the core of the base. Now, you could potentially use a jump for a base like this, but you know, again, for debatable reasons across the board, we chose to just try the earthquake attack for this, simply because we tend to see that the pathing is more reliable. But one of the other big strategic observations that we made about this was that the radius of the earthquake is larger. So against the right set of junction points, you could cut a swath into the side of a base that's 8 tiles wide. So the radius of earthquake is 4.5 tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit of another, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of off in that side. So you know, 5 in one direction, 4 in the other direction. It all depends on where you are because of rounding. So you're looking at somewhere between 8 and 9 tiles that you could just completely wipe out. Now, jump only has a 3.5 tile radius, so it will, in my opinion, it would still bridge this compartment, but just this little nook here, it's possible that if you misplace this, you could end up missing that nook, and then you know, have everything just miss the jump into the core of the base. Again, what we find is that there seems to be no substitute to just having a gigantic gaping hole on the side of a base to ensure that your troops path into the core. So he brought a poison. Well, let's take a look at his take a look at his troop loadout for this. So he brought 1 poison for the CC, 4 earthquakes, 2 rages, and a freeze. And the freeze is going to be for the back-end multi-target inferno. The single target, no problem. We can swarm that, no problem, with the giants. And he brought 8 giants, plus probably potentially more in the CC. So for this, the earthquake goes down 4 right away. And let's just pause here to count this really quickly. I just want to double check this. So we're looking at 1, sorry. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So between there and there, that's 8 tiles, and then here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I guess I'm not exactly sure how much further out that went, but that's 8 tiles gone. If this was a jump, you would have been able to, it would have just been a smaller radius, and you'd have to really, really zoom in to make sure that you got the right jump radius to bridge all 4 of the compartments. But as far as this is concerned, I mean, look at, hang on a second here. But as far as this base is concerned, look at what's happened. This is the new compartment for the base. And so long as you cut your funnel just right, everything will just march straight into the core of the base with absolutely no issues with pathing. And let's go ahead and watch that happen. So earthquakes go down, 3 golems in a tight deployment, but they go down just to make sure that the wizards can cut that pretty wide funnel. Did open up 1 space up there, 1 space down here, 1 space down there, and that's mostly just to make sure that all of his golems didn't clump into one hole. So no big issues there. And then here comes the giant march. It's only about 8 giants. This golem's about to get murdered by that single target inferno, but that's okay. He's done his job. Those wizards have gone in there and cleared out that pocket. And then here comes the rage. Once that rage goes down, that single target inferno is going to drop really fast. This expo is going to drop really fast. The AQ is going to be on the defending AQ in no time. That freeze goes on the backside of the backside inferno, and then his king is just going to go to work, go and gangbuster with what's left in that base. And at this point, you know, this is a base that can potentially defeat pathing if you don't know what you're doing, or if something goes wrong and you run out of time and your jumps wear off or whatever. Again, we feel that these large gaping holes in the side of the base tend to be a little bit more reliable than having to rely on jump in certain scenarios. We don't feel that Earthquake's going to replace jump for every scenario. This is a tool that was applied to solve a very specific problem, and gave us some good reliable mechanics, targeting and pathing mechanics into the core of the base. So he was able to 2-star this base without too many issues. Now the last attack I wanted to show you, this was more of a fun one. Just go back into the replays. Sheldor, he's one of our Town Hall 9s. He was able to run, here it is. He was able to run this attack from last night. This was just a farming attack. And Shell, no offense, but it wasn't even a very good one. But just to show you, let me pause that real quick. Just to show you what he did here. This is the base. Lavas and Legos with pretty much full storages across the board. And look what he did here. He took out this juncture. And let's look at the aftermath of that. Ooh, open hole on the side of the base. And 2,500 DE for the taking for the cost of 400 Dark Elixir for those 4 spells. So one application of the technology, one application of the spell usage that he was able to use pretty well. Now, if this had been me, I would have started by cutting my funnel over on the southeast side and on the northeast side. I think he was just so excited to get stuff into the core that we just started dropping all of his troops, which is fine. You know, I mean, this is just farming. You do this enough times, it becomes a mindless activity. But yeah, he's able to get into that core. The walls are no issues. He has more than enough spells to go in and hollow out this core. But notice he did lose the AQ. Because he didn't take time to set up that funnel on the east side. But he did get his archers in under Rage, along with his BK, and they were able to go ahead and grab that DE storage along with everything else. Now, this is probably not the type of strategy that I would use a lot, because over the course of time, 400 Dark Elixir can really add up. When I do my Dark Elixir farming, I go in with nothing but Elixir troops, so that if I fail, I lose nothing but time and Elixir. And every time I win, that's 100% DE back in my pocket. AQ Healer does still work, but you have to, just as a side note, it does still work, and we have guys doing that at the upper levels. But it is a lot tougher to do, and sometimes it requires jump and a whole crapload of wall breakers, but it still does work. So good fun there. So yeah, hope you thought that was interesting. Again, jump versus Earthquake. They're 2 different tools for 2 different, to solve 2 different problems. But this is just an example of one application of this strategy against the right types of bases. So hope you thought that was helpful. Thanks, and thanks for tuning back in.